Hi, my name is Shawn Montano. I'm the video production coordinator and instructor here at Emily Griffith Technical College. This is the final day when we're taping this of the video production program, and my students are graduating and they're ready to move on to the real world. And I thought I'd just give you guys a chance to see the projects they've done and hear from the students themselves about the program and all that they've learned from the program. So I have here with me Victor Lucero.
How's it going?
How's it going with you today?
Pretty good, pretty excited.
Excited to be done?
Happy, yeah, that it's the last day.
It's the last day?
It's kind of bittersweet, but definitely looking forward to the next chapter.
Pretty soon it'll be time to move on with your life, and hopefully you'll be gainfully employed at some time.
Hopefully, cross our fingers.
Maybe you'll come back and teach one of these classes.
That'd be cool.
That'd
be cool.
So why did you take this program?
You know, I started in theater arts, so stage acting and stuff like that, and I kind of get a bit disillusioned with that, just because everything's kind of typecasted, and so playing a child for my career, because I'm such a tiny little guy, playing a child didn't sound like the funnest thing in the world. So I kind of changed it, and I realized, you know, I've made videos with friends and stuff like that throughout high school, and just whenever, just having fun, and I realized, well, you know, this is kind of a field I do enjoy and I appreciate and I admire, so why not, you know, learn a little bit more behind the camera and behind the scenes, and I mean, you know, there's jobs everywhere with that, and that was another thing too, is job security. With acting, there's not much. I mean, it's kind of a slap on the back, and it's like, good luck, see ya, you know, cross your fingers, and so with this, you know, I guess call me old-fashioned, but I wanted some job security. So I figured by learning this kind of, learning this craft, I could definitely get a solid job out there.
Sure. So, you know, where do you want to be once you leave this program?
You know, originally I kind of had the idea of I want to work in small budget films, mainly like locally, stuff like that. Nothing too big, like Hollywood or anything like that. But I don't know, I definitely kind of have a little taste for, you know, news production and like live studio production as well. And that kind of sounds like a lot of fun. It kind of has that element of, you know, live theater / live show. It kind of has that element of, here we go, like do it now, you get one chance. So that sounds like fun. So, you know, maybe something with that. I'm not 100% sure yet.
And so you've been in my program and you've already actually had job offers, haven't you?
I have. I've actually, I had a job offer in Colorado Springs with KRDO. Really great opportunity, you know, how I live there, definitely would have jumped on that.
and you've done some freelance work, and you're getting some more freelance work?
Yeah, doing some weddings, doing some TriCaster work.
So you've done a lot of projects here, right?
Yes.
So the first one I want to hear about is, what was your favorite project?
My favorite project was the first one that you assigned, which was the business profile, which I had some family friends that worked for Senior Support Services, which I did my project on. And so I remember when you assigned the project, you were just like, go find a business. And I was like, oh man, that's kind of an interesting step. Just like go randomly walk somewhere and be like, hey, I'm a student of video production. Can I film you? You know, that was kind of strange. And that was, you know, I liked that because, you know, it felt kind of cool and important to just like walk in with your camera and your gear and be like, you know, people are like, oh, what are you doing? You know, people definitely noticed that, and that was kind of fun. And so it was kind of nice to do, to help them out in a different way in like this field with video. So that was fun.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at Victor's project.
I've always been helping people who are in need of help, and that makes me feel like it's worthwhile to get up in the morning and come to work.
This is Julie Romero. She's the Day Center Manager for Senior Support Services here in Denver, Colorado.
I would say the majority of the people are homeless, but we also have low-income people, and anyone who is a senior, at least 55 and over, it can come here and take advantage.
This job requires more than an 8-hour shift, and through her commitment, she inspires others.
She's probably the most patient person I've ever met because her jobs are never just sitting down at a desk. It's kind of cool seeing someone who can work with people in need 24/7.
She's kind of been my sidekick almost every job I've ever had. She knows where my values are and what I think is important, and so she just knows how to step right in and support that. So it's a nice, we make a nice team.
So she's made me really comfortable, I guess, around people in need when I think a lot of people just ignore them.
Well, every day I come in with an idea of what I'm going to do, and almost every day I go home not accomplishing what I came in thinking I was going to do. It is a job that has to allow for a lot of interruption.
Despite all of the interruptions, Julie spends her weekdays caring for those that have been misunderstood.
But what they don't know is that there's a lot of people, there's a story, what led them to the choices that they made and where they got, and that these people really do need some love and some support and somebody to care about them. They always are positive and have a smile on their face. It's amazing. Good lesson for all of us.
So for those of you out there in a nonprofit organization, next year there will be another opportunity with another round of students to produce nonprofit videos just like the one that Victor did, and so we will provide that service and we'll produce a nonprofit video. So if you have a nonprofit out there that's looking for a video, by all means send them our way. All right, so Victor, you had another project that I really enjoyed seeing you produce, and that was your news package.
Yes.
So tell me about your news package.
Okay. Well, I chose to go out to I think they're in Longmont or maybe on the edge of Boulder or something like that. But they're Justice High School. They're kind of an alternative high school for kids that have had issues at home. So these are kind of the kids that are looked on as, bad eggs or bad seeds or whatever you want to call it. And my brother-in-law actually mentioned it to me because he's a probation officer, and so he was like, you should go check out that place, and I did, and kind of just creating a story that's like these kids they're looked over, but they're not down and out yet. So.
All right, well, let's take a look at that one.
This is an alternative for kids here in Boulder County.
Justice High, one of the last options for high school students.
That have been expelled or have truancy issues, or had issues going to school.
Guys, all the electives are on the board.
Their whole lives, people have just kind of given up on them, or they've just let them fail.
Considering their obstacles, these students are prepared.
So we do our best to set them up for success before heading out, whether they plan to go to college or not.
In order to graduate, they must be accepted into 3 different colleges. This faculty makes sure it happens.
This school provides not giving up on a kid,
By pushing these kids to achieve, they can go on to do great things.
We've had numerous students leave here who have been very successful going on to college. We have attorneys, we have police officers.
These students will remember everything that Justice High has done for them.
They didn't give up on me, so it's a sense of hope that they can go out and achieve whatever their goals may be.
Wow, great, Victor. Great job with that one. I love that one. Were you impressed? Did you like it?
It was probably one of the hardest ones, to be honest, just because I feel like I still need a little bit of more natural sounds.
All right, and then the other project that I was really impressed that you did was we had a last day kind of celebration for saying goodbye to the building, and so you helped me produce a video, and then you shot several stills and you shot some of the video, and then you edited the piece for us, and I thought it turned out really great. So tell me about that.
Yeah, that was our final block party. That was actually my first block party, so it's kind of unfortunate that was the last one. It was probably one of the harder ones as well, because I had hours upon hours and hundreds and hundreds of pictures to go through and try and find. And that's the thing is, you always want to add everything, and it was like, oh, that was a really cool part, and oh, what about this? But it really came down to what was important and what stuck to the story. But it was cool, and I'm glad that hopefully it's something that the next school can look back on and stuff like that and see oh, that was cool, that's nice. I'm glad someone captured that for all of us to see. So in that way, it's kind of nice to leave a little memory of myself for this building.
Excellent. All right, well, let's take a look at that piece.
And what's up, Emily Griffith? How y'all doing this morning? Come on, I can't hear you.
After nearly a century, Emily Griffith's high school and technical college will be relocating from 13th and Glenarm. Change can be bittersweet.
As I mentioned, this is a bittersweet day in that this is one of my favorite days, this along with graduation. And bittersweet because this is the last block party on this campus.
And I do love the old structure, and the architecture is really fun.
I kind of like the historical aspect of the old building, but I feel like the new building would be a good change.
Yes, but my favorite thing, I guess, is just the history itself. When you walk the halls, it has this amazing kind of character and vibe to it that is hard to replicate.
It's just a nice building. I mean, it's been here forever. Why move?
This building has a lot of character, and it's a really nice building. It just needs some fixing, you know?
What will students miss?
Well, what I'm going to miss about this one is the community. You feel like you're really a part of the city of Denver.
But one thing I will miss is how it's been here forever. Everybody knows where this school is located.
One thing that will always remain.
We honor our past of where we all came from, and we honor our heritage. That's why I love the little, they over here dancing and shaking and everything, waving flags and whatnot. We need to honor that, and we need to celebrate that, because that's when we grow as a community. So thank you, and continue to be diverse.
Notwithstanding all the history and memories, this building has seen better days.
This building is great. Don't you love this building right here? But it's falling apart, okay?
Because parking right here is a challenge. Let's put it that way.
One thing I won't miss is the parking.
I'm not going to miss those window shakers, all those air conditioner units.
I'm going to miss all the cockroaches that we've seen over here. And the reason why is because we're in the first floor, and it's so hot down there.
With a new location, things will be different. But this school will continue to have a major impact on the city of Denver.
It is exciting to go to a new place and see what's going to happen there.
We're going to miss this old place, but sometimes times have to change. We have to move on to bigger, better things, so.
I have been at the new building. I'm kind of jealous. It's really nice, and I would love to be over there.
Like a better future for the school and for everybody who starts going there.
I am going to miss the old campus, but the reality is that our mission doesn't change. It's just bricks and mortar, and it has served this institution for 97 years.
Thank you so much, Emily Griffith, for everything you've done for the community.
Wow, Victor, I'm very impressed with that piece. I thought it turned out great. I mean, I loved your writing. I loved how it connected all the sound bites. Great job.
Thank you.
And I'm very proud of you. You've done very well in this program. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing your successes in all the future you do. The one last thing that I'd like to ask you is, if you saw somebody on the street that was curious about this program, why would you tell them to take this program?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, but I think the main reason is the cool thing about this project. Well, I guess there's two, actually. Two great things about this project. Number one, if you're kind of interested in video production, but you're not exactly sure what it's all about, and you know what I mean? I mean, most people when they think of video production think, oh, movies, great. It's more work. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into every production that you see. So if you're interested, but not necessarily sure how much work is involved, it's a nice little way to test the waters, and that way you don't go into, like, say, a big school that costs, the Art Institute or something like that costs, thousands and thousands of dollars. You can save a lot of money and get your feet wet here, which is kind of part of the second as well. You save a lot of money, and this way, you can try it, test it out, and it's really hands-on, which is really cool. I mean, some places you're in a classroom all day just kind of lecturing and looking at a book, and I think that's necessary as well, but I think where you really start to craft and mold your skills is getting out, and it's like, go, see what you can do. And that's where you really learn, I think.
I agree. Victor, thank you for being my student.
Thank you so much, Shawn. I appreciate it.
And good luck.
Thank you.
video production and editing
program is designed to teach you every aspect of video production.
This is a hands-on environment. Students learn the tools needed to gain entry-level employment in the video production industry. There are no general education classes required to graduate.
Emily Griffith Technical College Video Production and Editing program
provides students with the tools, inspiration, understanding,
and passion to pursue their goal in a career in video production. Hey, welcome back. We are continuing to interview students who took the video production and editing certificate program here at Emily Griffith Technical College. I have another student here. This is Ethan James. Ethan, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing good?
Yeah.
You are finished with the program. How do you feel?
I feel great.
You feel great?
Yeah.
Excited?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
That's excellent. So tell me, Ethan, why did you take this program?
Well, I've always been into movies since I was yay big, and it just seemed like a really cool thing to do, and I just figured none of my friends were doing it. Why not me? So.
Excellent. Where do you want to be once you leave this program?
I really want to continue being an editor somewhere. While I do that, I'd like to go to school for art.
Well, speaking of Channel 9 News, you finished this program and you've had a successful run. You've done some great productions and it's led to interviews, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I have an interview at 9 News for an editor position. So.
And you've had interest from other stations, right?
Yes, for a news station.
All right. So tell me about your favorite project that you did in the video production program.
My favorite project would have to be my news report that I did. I did it on comic books, and that's just something I've always been into. And when I got that opportunity to do it, I just jumped right on it. And I was real passionate about it. You could see that in my editing, and thought it turned out pretty good.
I thought it turned out really well, so let's check it out.
Comic books have gotten more and more popular over the years, but why? I talked to store owner Shawn to get to the bottom of it.
Comic books I like a lot because the way the story is told. It's not like any other medium. I like the fact that they use words and pictures to tell the story. So it's just as important for the art to be good and flowing as it is for the words to be good and flowing.
But why are comic books so popular now?
Movies have a lot to do with it. There's TV shows now that have a lot to do with it. Arrow's the big one right now.
But it's not alone.
Walking Dead is another huge one right now. It's kind of a juggernaut. From a comic that started out independently, it's completely unstoppable now.
So how did comic books get so popular? They targeted children.
I have more families now than ever that come in to buy kids' comic books. I have an entire kids section for kids under like 15 and under.
But is it a good idea to open up a comic book store?
Unless you have a severe passion for this, I would say no, honestly. And a lot of guys who open stores, they just want to open them to, fill out their collections. You can't really do that.
But why?
If I take something, I have to pay for it. Otherwise, the business loses and you close really fast. But I think a lot of people don't actually realize that.
So how does one avoid that?
You really need to have a thought-out plan if you're going to open up your own comic book store. But just make sure you've got all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed before you even consider doing something like this, because you will fail in the first year if you do not.
So whether you're a diehard fan or a store owner, there's something in comics for all of us.
Great job, Ethan. I loved it. I loved your writing. I loved how you weaved the sound bites using very simple sentences. It was very well done.
Thank you.
And that's, of course, something you learn here in the program, how to write stories in addition to those. So another project that I really enjoyed that you produced, and that was your nonprofit video. And so tell me about your nonprofit video.
My nonprofit video, I shot it in the school. There's this barbering college as well. I filmed one of the students, and I thought that one turned out well too.
So what Ethan did is he produced a video for the Emily Griffith Scholarship Foundation. And so this particular student got a scholarship to the Emily Griffith Scholarship Foundation, and so we profiled him and the fact that he got a scholarship. So let's take a look. We'll just kind of put together, we're less than a mile from all of the major people.
This is Phil McLean. Phil had just gotten married, but there was a problem.
I had been doing the same thing for the last 9 years, and the job that I had been doing, which was pretty much all I knew how to do, wasn't going to work very well with being married.
So what was the solution? An education.
I researched all the different schools that were in Colorado, and Emily Griffith had everything that I was looking for in a school.
With one problem solved, another took its place.
You know, my wife and I went into this program having to pay for it out of pocket. We weren't accepted for any federal financial aids.
So who helped him through this predicament? His school.
The financial aid department here at Emily Griffith helped me out a lot. They told me about all the different options that there were, and that particular scholarship seemed like the best one for me to apply for. It would have been a lot harder without it.
Excellent job, Ethan. I loved it. I'm sure that will get the Emily Griffith Scholarship Foundation some exposure, and of course let people know that there are scholarships and that students are succeeding with those scholarships. Another project that I really enjoyed seeing you do was your personal profile. Tell me about that.
So I did the personal profile on my mom and her love of sewing, and I was always fascinated with, you know, why she did it, and I really wanted to share that. So I figured that was the perfect video to shoot. So I thought that one turned out pretty well too.
I'm a big proponent of using natural sound in a lot of these stories, and so I teach the students to try and capture as much natural sound as possible. And in this story, Ethan did a really good job of capturing natural sound of sewing and natural sound of like scissors and his mom doing a lot of the sewing action, and he incorporated that into the video, which I really think brings stories home, lets the viewers in on it. So he did a tremendous job with the use of natural sound and of course writing. And you know, when you do stories that you have a passion for, and I assume you have a passion for your mom,
yes.
They seem to come out much better when you have a passion. So let's check this out.
Whether it's playing basketball, drawing, or just reading a book, everyone has a hobby. And to most people, a hobby is something to do for fun. But to others, it means more than that.
My name is Deb James, and I like to sew. I've made everything from musical equipment, bags, 3-foot dinosaurs for my boys. There's nothing that I can't make with the piece of material. I don't know.
But why sewing?
It's just relaxing and calming and creative.
Sewing isn't a new love for Deb.
I got my first sewing machine for Christmas when I was 7.
She got up early to be met with heartache.
I couldn't find a big package with my name and went back to bed crying.
And when she woke up later that morning, she found a pleasant surprise.
The last present I opened was a big box, and it was my sewing machine.
So what steps do you take to sew? Deb has the answer.
You put the material underneath the pressure foot, and you press the pedal down below that makes it go, and then sew.
So what is the key to true happiness?
Just chill and sew.
Amen.
For someone out there who's, you know, deciding whether or not to take this program, what would you tell somebody? Why should they take this program?
I would tell someone to take this program mainly because it's so much fun, and you know, you're met with just happy people, and they go out of their way to do. They go out of their way to help you achieve your goal, and yeah.
Well, excellent. Thank you for taking my program,
you.
Ethan. Good luck. I hope you keep in touch and maybe someday come back and teach other students or help them learn.
Yeah. I just set up the cameras.
I just grabbed some mics.
I'm setting up the TriCaster. A TriCaster is a video switcher.
My name is Shawn Montano. My job is to teach the students all of the aspects of studio production. Menu functions are right here. So
I'm working on a television studio production class.
I like to use the picture.
The Homework Hotline is a show that we do every
So,
Wednesday.
yeah, I think this is a really neat thing to do.
students get very hands-on practice.
I do anything from floor directing,
Camera operator,
audio board.
Something called a TriCaster, which is a video switcher. It's very hands-on. There's hardly any lecture. I throw them in, and they are literally working for the show day one as we produce the show.
So camera 1 back on Whitney, camera 2 back on Becca.
We need students to help with the production of this show.
I learned what it takes to make a television show.
The main thing that I've learned is to work as a team with my fellow students.
Another successful episode of Homework Hotline. See you next week.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Shawn Montano. I'm the video production coordinator and instructor here at Emily Griffith Technical College. I'm here with Liam Dargan. Liam is also a student that takes the video production and editing certificate program here at Emily Griffith Technical College. Liam, how are you doing?
I'm good, man.
Doing? Last day of school, how are you?
Oh, very good. I just can't wait another minute to get enjoy my summer.
Yeah, so you've worked really hard, Liam.
Uh-huh.
And so is it okay if I share, Liam, some information about you?
Sure.
Okay, so the thing that Liam made me aware of and his family made me aware of when he first started is Liam has autism. Liam, could you tell the audience what autism is?
Well, okay, I can try. Well, autism is sort of a development disorder that some kids have that makes that hinders their social skills. Like sometimes they can't talk. Or yeah, I've had a little trouble for me when I was little, but I've managed to I've gotten there and to be a little more social and able to let my voice be heard.
Liam has done a fantastic job. You've done a great job. I'm well aware that you had autism, but I didn't treat you any differently, and you've done very well, and the projects that we're about to show has shown your growth and your progression through the program. The first project that I actually want to start with you is we decided to have you produce a documentary about yourself, and I was thoroughly impressed with your final product. Tell me about it.
Well, it's kind of some say the hardest thing about hardest thing you can make a movie on is yourself, and it was very hard for me. I mean, like, I'm a pretty self-conscious guy. I feel a little uncomfortable about people watching me and when I do my little quirks. Yeah, so, but that's one I think I feel pretty much okay with it.
Well, I personally hope, Liam, that this documentary inspires other students who have autism and who may be hesitant about taking a program like this, or in fact anybody with a disability who's hesitant, because I think you're going to be an inspiration for a lot more people than I think you really realize.
Well, I hope so.
I hope so too. So let's take a look at Liam's documentary.
My name is Liam Dargan. I'm 19 years old. I'm about to graduate out of high school, and I'm currently taking a college class at Emily Griffith Technical College. The class I take is the Independent Video and Editing program because I have one career in mind that I'm pursuing: world-class filmmaking. I hope to join the ranks of such greats as Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Tim Burton, George Lucas, and Alfred Hitchcock. But it's kind of a bold thing to say for a guy like me, but at least I hope not to be far away from them. Now here's a very important thing about me. I'm a little different from my peers, and by that, I mean very different. I have the development disorder known as autism. I had difficulty being open and talking when I was little, but with time, a little help from my parents, and the magic of film, I came out of my metaphorical shell of isolation and silence and started to let people in. This is the story of my journey for Emily Griffith, and I hope that my story would shine on to other kids with autism, and if you work hard and do your best, no dream is impossible. It all began about a year ago when I was finishing up my time at the Career Education Center. I was taking a digital film class where I have made 6 short films in 2 years, all well received by my peers. And the great wall trying to have in common is that they were built by the same people who helped the locals. In the final months, my parents and I found about the Emily Griffith Technical College and that they have a program similar to the film class over at CEC. In late April, we took a tour around the building, and afterwards, we decided that this is the next step for me. In late August, I started my journey into the deeper parts of not only filmmaking, but also other departments of the media such as news, documentaries, among other things. The teacher of my class is Shawn Montano. Just like me, he has affinity for films as well as the other students, Ethan James and Victor Lucero. I felt a little awkward to be in a different environment, but I'll just try and make the best of it. My movie was about these 2 men who get into a ridiculous fight over a dollar bill. I initially asked my friend Tyler to act in it, but he was unable to due to scheduling conflicts. Luckily, my father and his friend were willing to act like a couple of idiots for me. The final result was a humorous slapstick ditty. As time passes, my knowledge of the camera and technology grew. I came to understand the features such as the iris, focus, and aperture. My next project is a movie with sound effects. It's about a guy on his walk who desperately searches for a bathroom after drinking a whole canister of water. For this one, I cast my friend Tyler as the unlucky soul searching for a place to urinate. It was fun to get to do a project with my old friend back at CEC and also capture all these watery sounds to increase the urges that the protagonist tries to resist.
I really loved education and I really love coffee.
For my next project, I was assigned to do a personal profile on Donna, the barista at the coffee shop inside Emily Griffith, who also teaches refugees to handle jobs in America. What I find interesting about her is that she helps refugees from foreign lands to find a better life here in the States than they had before in their homeland. My project was a success, and Shawn submitted it for a local student Emmy nomination. If it does get nominated, I get to go to my first awards dinner. That would be like going to the Oscars, where I dream of going to someday. Well, I guess I have to live in the now until then. Anyway, at the start of my second semester, we started studying non-fictional pieces so we can make our own. We also began to learn the working functions of a television studio, as we become crew members of a live educational show called The Homework Hotline, filmed on the soundstage right in the school. Here I've become adept at audio mixing, floor directing, and operating robotic cameras. My first project of the new semester was to create a profile for a small business, and so I decided to film a brewery that makes hard cider owned by Brad and Kathy Page. At the end of the day, it wasn't one of my best projects, but it was nicely sequenced, and not every movie can be as equally successful. Every Spielberg has his hook.
You seem to be making it go out.
My next project was a news report on a woman named Vicki Monroe, who owns a beekeeping supply shop and fights for the survival of the bees. It was very challenging and brave for me to shoot these bees wearing only a beekeeper's hat and layers. Some things are worth risking. I have also created a non-profit video about Denim, a non-profit organization that provides food and comfort for the needy in Denver. It was quite interesting to hear from the testimonies of the volunteers and the people they helped out.
My back rent, they paid my legal fees.
About a month ago, I began my internship at DPS TV, where I have shot and edited live events such as the DPS Shakespeare Festival and the Mock Career Fair.
As far as to give a better...
It's nice to have an open mind in a non-fictional department of media, but I must admit that I'm more of a man of storytelling and film because it's all planned out before shooting. It's something you can control. In the fall, I will start my term at the film school in CU Denver, so I'm very excited to get back to creating short films with stories. Hard to believe, looking back on all this. Not bad for a teenager with autism. So remember, whether you're autistic, have Down syndrome, handicapped, or dyslexic, you may have disabilities, but it shouldn't get in the way of your dreams. Anyone can do anything. You just gotta put your heart and mind into it. It worked well for me.
Welcome back. Again, Liam, I am thoroughly impressed with that documentary. I thought it came out excellent, and it had a little emotion, and I simply loved it.
Thank you. I thought it was I thought they did a really good job on that one as well.
Why did you take this program?
My family and I heard about that for my high school, the college course program, that I can earn a certificate in video production and editing at Emily Griffith, and yeah, so we took a tour around it, got to see the studio and also the library where we work, and the idea of working in a studio fascinated me. So hopefully I can gain some experience to hopefully that I would utilize later on when I grow up as a full-fledged professional filmmaker. And so we so the family decided that this is the next step for me.
Excellent. So Liam's taken the program, and I frankly discovered Liam's strength towards the end of the program. So one of the final classes the student takes is a writing the short script class. And Liam's abilities, I mean, he's a solid videographer and he's a great editor, but Liam's abilities to craft a story really came out in that writing the short script class, because he got to write stories. And so Liam, one of my favorite stories that you did was the beekeeper story.
Oh yeah, that was on the Denver Post website. I came across this article about this beekeeper lady named Vicki Lawson, and I was very intrigued by the idea. It's like bees are very neutral. I mean, very essential to the environment. Bees provide the pollen for the flowers and provide fruit and vegetables to the animal kingdom.
Again, fantastic job, Liam. So let's watch his news report.
This is To Be or Not to Be, a store that sells supplies to beekeepers such as honey, hives, suits, among other things. Vicki Malone owns the store, a woman with a noble and worthy cause: the preservation and survival of the bee species.
The bees are actually very mystical if you watch them. They're absolutely amazing. In 2008, I read that the bees were all dying and felt like I needed to get involved. Everybody that comes in the store, we try to educate them on how to be successful taking care of bees, but there's no guarantees. It's very strong in Colorado, I feel. So big numbers all along the Front Range for sure.
Like all good causes, this one is not a light one, and it's something that won't be done in a day. There aren't that many people who are aware of the problem.
Occasionally I get people who come in that think they're going to make a lot of money selling honey. We're only interested in the plight of the bee and keeping the bee alive. That's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to help people understand what's going on. And usually the people that come in the store, they understand that too. A good number of the people that come in the store are there just to help the bees. If they get honey, that's the frosting on the cake. But normally they're there just to help the plight of the bees and help them stay alive.
Fortunately, Vicki has a plan that could save these poor creatures.
And if everybody realized how important it was to plant flowers that are pollinator friendly, we happen to be a society that every blade of grass has to be green and every flower has to be perfect, and this is killing the bees. By them dying by the millions, what's going on in the greater picture of what we're doing to our ground.
By saving the bees, Vicki will also save the human race.
Education and understanding what's going on with the bees is vital, and it is vital to everybody, and it is vital to our existence. Supposedly, we will not live much beyond that. So people have to understand this is a crisis situation, and we have caused it ourselves, and we need to do something about it.
Well, as you can see, Liam can shoot, Liam can edit, he does fantastic with sequencing, and he's a fantastic writer. And I thought you did a tremendous job writing that. And you had another project that I thought you did a tremendous job writing as well. And that was on our coffee shop barista. Tell me about that project.
Well, we were doing a personal profile. I've had a hard time trying to figure out who to shoot it on. As I was capturing B-roll of her and interviewing her, I realized that the students she works with are refugees. He's in the Pathways program.
Great job, Liam. Let's take a look at that story.
Here we are at Emily's Coffee. a coffee shop conveniently located inside Emily Griffith Technical College. This is the woman behind all espresso operations.
My name is Donna Olson. I am the coffee shop manager and lead trainer for Emily's Coffee in the Pathways program.
Donna considers this position to be the perfect dream job.
I kind of came to it from two totally different paths, and I really loved education and I really love coffee. So I very luckily found a job that lets me do both, which you don't really find a whole lot.
Not only is Donna the manager of the coffee shop, she also teaches students how a coffee shop is run. Her students include refugees from far-off lands seeking a better life.
The Pathways program is a job training program for immigrants and refugees. So we focus primarily on refugee populations who are coming in from very difficult situations. Our goal is not to train baristas specifically, but to train our students to work with customers in a variety of environments. When you add in students, and then you add in students, not just regular students who are learning and don't know what they're doing, but also have varying levels of English speaking ability.
Handling these two jobs at the same time can be quite a handful for Donna.
I was a theater major, so I call it a comedy of errors when everything just goes wrong. And those are the days where you have to take a deep breath and have a sense of humor.
So in the end, just reaching out to these kids, guiding them, makes everything worthwhile.
I work really hard and I'm trying a lot of new things. So I kind of feel like I've been in a pretty constant state of experimentation.
Each situation that Donna faces depends on how the students are motivated.
For a student who's super motivated, they don't need a whole lot of help from me. For other students, I like to try to give them some motivation. So yeah, I feel like I am pretty effective for the folks who really want to be here and want to get a job.
Wow, Liam, 3 great stories that I think you should be proud of, and I think that you'll be able to showcase for a very long time.
Thank you.
Congratulations on completing the program, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. I look forward to seeing you success, and who knows where this will lead to, right?
Right.
All right, thank you. The Emily Griffith Technical College Video Production and Editing Program provides students with the tools, inspiration, understanding, and passion to pursue their goal in a career in video production. You will grow into storytellers. Welcome back. I am Shawn Montano, the video production coordinator and instructor here at Emily Griffith Technical College. I've brought Victor and Ethan back, and the reason why I've brought them back is they have another project. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to show it at this time because it's going to debut at a film festival, but part of the program, in addition to the news packages and the nonprofit videos and the business profiles, is producing a documentary. And so Ethan and Victor and Liam helped out as well, but Liam focused on his documentary while these two focused on another documentary. And so part of the program, the final class they take, is professional documentary production. And Victor and Ethan, tell me about your documentary.
Me? Okay, all right. We did a documentary based off of refugees that live in Denver. I guess not specifically. We got some ideas because Emily Griffith does a refugee program here, and the idea wasn't necessarily to promote Emily Griffith's refugee program. It was just, we just kind of used them to find some of our subjects. But I mean, our story is, basically about a life that, or not a life, but a lifestyle that we don't really understand or can't really relate to very well.
A world we don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're calling.
That's exactly what we titled it. So,
So how'd it come out?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I enjoyed shooting it a lot. And editing it, it took a while because I wasn't really used to editing a documentary, but I thought it turned out pretty good. Yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good.
So you guys have anything else to say about this documentary?
Watch it.
Eventually.
Eventually.
You'll have to come to the film festival to actually see it, and then once it premieres, we'll put it up on YouTube for everyone to see. But unfortunately, I'm not going to release it just yet because I want to save it for the film festival. Okay. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for producing an excellent documentary. I'm sure we're all looking forward to sharing it with as many people as we possibly can. And if you have any need to contact me, right there, see? There's all my contact information. So give me a call, send me an email, let me know if you like these projects, if you like these students, if you thought they did well, if you thought I did well, or if you're interested in taking the video production and editing program. Thanks for joining me. Welcome to the video production and editing program at Emily Griffith Technical College.
The 11-month program is designed to teach you every aspect of video production.
This is a hands-on environment.
You will demonstrate the understanding of composition, lighting, and recording sound and video production 1.
You will develop editing techniques such as match action and sequencing in video post-production 1.
Students in the program have a polished video production for their resume reel.
All this in just your first semester.
Each class, students are given 3 major projects to produce.
Students also produce several in-class projects. Students also learn Adobe Photoshop and Adobe After Effects.
Students also take a Working for Yourself course.
And a course in video business.
Students also produce a small business video,
a documentary,
and a non-profit video. Students learn the tools needed to gain entry-level employment in the video production industry.
Students learn how to build a resume,
a demo reel,
create business cards,
and learn successful interview techniques.
Students will also complete an internship in video production.
There are no general education classes required to graduate.
Emily Griffith Technical College Video Production and Editing Program
provides students with the tools, inspiration, understanding,
and passion to pursue their goal in a career in video production.